This is a message to Republicans.
Straight out the gate, letting us know you plan to divide us, even though we're pretty much all in agreement about you.
You keep saying that we want free stuff,
Who is we? Republican? Democrat?
and that the government can't do anything right.
Trump was hired in the first place and now is acquitted after you wasted our tax dollars trying to impeach him.
So you need an education. The microchip, the internet, GPS, touchscreens, space travel, those are a few examples of world-changing technology that was created by our government.
Matt Cooke reaching stating that these technologies were created by our government when they were actually created by physicists who only needed government assistance for mass production. And space travel came from Russia, not America, so I don't know what all that's about.
Or required massive financial support from our government.
Later on, there you go, except for space travel.
Now I paid for that, with a third of my money in the form of taxes.
No, you didn't. Microchips 30 years before you were born, internet when you were 10, touch screens at 5 because you claim to have paid for the creation of these technologies by our government, and unless you're a Russian citizen, the last one's not possible either.
But I didn't get a return.
Taxes are not meant to be returned.
Because all our technology was just given away to private industries.
Most likely sold to private industries.
And then it was sold back to us so that someone else could profit. Now that's what free stuff looks like.
Doesn't sound free to anyone. Doesn't look free to me.
Am I supposed to pay money to breathe? Or have access to water, or community, or civilization, or is that my natural right, being born on the planet?
No, but you know what you should pay for? These technologies, no matter who owns them, you did not create them.
Because that's what economic rights mean. They mean I have a right to participate in the economy, without having to be born into the Trump family or some other social predator's bloodline.
In my opinion, speaking this ill of the president should be counted as treason, but opinions don't count here, so we'll roll on.
Now I'm going to teach you another word, democracy.
Please, teach us about what Democrats have been trying to undermine since November 2016.
Now wannabe mobsters, they love saying the government's bad at everything.
A comment on par with the most devout man saying air is good. It's an established fact since we can't end wars, provide health care, recover our deficit, and on any given night there are somewhere between 40 and 60,000 vets freezing on the streets. But you know who is doing something about this? Our current president, Donald J. Trump.
When a government's ruled by the people, it's called our voice. So it's not bad. And you're not going to silence our voice. When we make them accountable, that's democracy.
Agreed. Let's put Pelosi in prison for mutilating government documents, as well as Pelosi, Biden, Biden's son, Schumer, Schiff, Obama, all for treason.
Now, Republican leadership today, they're against democracy, and they're not even trying to hide it.
Hey, that's the dirty Democrat dance.
They are only in power because of an undemocratic electoral college that was created by slaveholders. They're only in power right now because we have an undemocratic institution called the Senate that gives a single resident of Wyoming as much voting power as 68 people in California.
Checks and balances. Google it.
Because every state gets 2 senators, doesn't matter how many people live in them. And Republicans love that. They love how millions more Americans vote for Democrats but don't get any representation.
Then what do you call all this?
Because they love free stuff, just like the Founding Fathers.
What does any of this have to do with free stuff? And did you just take shots at the people responsible for the very ground you stand on? That's disgusting, man.
Well, guess what? Slavery's over. States are not people. Corporations are not people.
Again with elementary school information.
Concentrated power and wealth and a master race and master culture, none of that is democracy.
Hey, that's the dirty Democrat dance.
And your sacred constitution is long overdue for a rewrite, as holy of a document as you've been thinking it is, conditionally, of course.
Newsflash, it's been rewritten 27 times.
Because even the empire-hungry colonists would have been disgusted by your handing over everything, sir, yes, sir, to the lords and ladies.
Oh, please, just one time say for me, vote beggars, status seekers.
Of big box stores, oil, and money that Republicans are worshiping today.
Hey, that's the dirty Democrat dance.
The American dream made us famous all over the world. We gave people hope. But Republicans love it so much more now that people have the worst chance at making it here than any other rich nation.
Is that so? Unemployment's dropping, jobs being created, a wall to keep out cheap labor, i.e. why you hate China over Apple, I think. Wink.
They prefer the class system.
No, but it's what Democrats do.
The caste system, extreme inequality, and poverty. Because keeping other people down, the communist, the Mexican, the scary pronoun, whatever word they want to give them, it makes them feel superior, like the old days. Scared and demonizing whatever's out in the woods, outside of the colony.
Hey, that's the dirty Democrat dance.
It doesn't matter that their lives aren't much better. They're living through the achievements of their gods, icons of money, power, cruelty, and dripping arrogance.
Hey, that's the dirty Democrat dance.
And that's why they love a fabric flag more than the human flesh and blood that live and die under it, because they're idol worshippers.
You know, I don't feel like you believe a word of this, but opinions don't count, so we'll move on.
And that is exactly what Jesus and Muhammad and Moses told you not to do. How dare you invoke the name of the Almighty and his messengers against the weak, the meek, and the poor?
Madam Pelosi, I would also like to point out that we in the white trash Republican community consider ourselves just that compared to big Democraticals.
The prophets led movements of the persecuted before they were overtaken by the persecutors, who allied themselves with totalitarians like you're doing now with modern-day Saudi Arabia and Israel under Netanyahu and this radical Christian cult, all for a dirty oil empire that is soaked in the blood of men, women, and children, and all the creatures of the earth.
1 cent for reaching as hard as humanly possible on that one.
Now, when Republican leaders say they love freedom, they love the freedom of unchecked domination.
Sound familiar for the last 30 years with the exception of Bush and Trump?
And their followers, they love the freedom to live out some paranoid revenge fantasy of needing a firearm in case their superiority gets challenged in a Walmart or on some street in Portland.
So here's where I'm going to slow it down for you so you hear exactly what I say. The issue at hand has nothing to do with whether or not we need a firearm. It has everything to do with the fact that we have the right to have them. And yes, I feel like I need it. Because yes, I may be able to deal with a bully, but no matter how large the threat, I want the odds to be so lopsided in my favor that I know I will be safe.
The right-wing PR machines uplifting war criminal soldiers that the Navy condemned and their dear leader pardoned. And I guess some people on the right want these savages to campaign with their master as heroes. And they think a Navy SEAL calling out war crimes is somehow political correctness.
I don't like the derogatory way you just said Navy SEAL. My video.
Well, my grandfather would disagree with you. This Republican goon squad worships the government when it gives them illegitimate authority over the people. Then they march in lockstep, drunk with their abuse of power. Well, no. You can't have our democracy.
Good. We want to get real democracy back.
You can't make it a great republic for slaveholders and wage slavery. Not again. Not now. Not ever. We beat you and your masters in the Civil War.
I thought it was the masters you were trying to beat. Did you just confess to beating slaves? Holy crap.
We beat you on the beaches of Normandy. We beat you in Birmingham. And we're going to beat you again. Because the truth wins. And you can stand by while all our communications networks get drowned with some Russian psychological warfare.
Refer to Mueller.
You can redraw all our maps with a Sharpie.
And who's messing with the maps?
You can keep suppressing the voting rights of our Black, Brown, and First Nation brothers and sisters.
Refer to the State of the Union.
And go ahead. Keep using the old slave laws to false multiply your votes. Keep tricking all your scared, angry, ignorant old white people into supplication.
And to take offense to that,
before your orange golden calf, but we're going to beat you. We're going to replace you. And we're going to change the culture. If not this election, then out in the streets. Because you cannot have this land. You cannot have this country. It was never yours in the first place.